Is manifestation real? That's the question we're going to ask in this video, and I'm going to give you a bunch of answers, but not from the perspective of, these TikTok manifestation coaches. No, I'm going to give you the perspective from that of an Akashic Records reader. Okay, so this means that I do Akashic Records work with people, going in and seeing where their invisible obstacles are. So I have a front row view to how manifestation actually works, and more importantly, why it doesn't work. So keep listening, and you're going to get an insight into what might be going on in your life and about why maybe what you're wanting to manifest isn't actually coming through. So first of all, let's just talk about what the heck is manifestation, right? Manifestation is this idea that we're creating our reality. This is something that, all the different spiritual traditions touch upon in different ways, right? Even if we go to more traditional, Judeo-Christian traditions, this idea of seek and you shall find, or ask and you shall receive. Just think about that. Ask and you shall receive. That is literally saying what you're asking for is what you're going to receive. Okay, so the trick then is, maybe I'm not asking for what I really think I'm asking for. And that's where most people are getting tripped up. Okay, because they think they're asking from up here. And the reality is their ask, so to speak, is not only what they're conscious of, but it's all this unconscious stuff that's going on. Okay, so the first thing you really have to understand is that your conscious mind is the tip of the iceberg of who you are. Now, depending where you are on the spiritual spectrum, that might make perfect sense and that might sound crazy. Okay, but just hear me out for a moment, okay? Even, traditional psychology will tell you about, the archetypes and, the personas and all these different senses of identity, all of these parts that are, essentially hidden in the psyche. So whether you come at this from a more psychological standpoint or you're coming at it from more of a spiritual or metaphysical standpoint, the stars kind of align around this idea that there's a lot more to you than you think. What do we do with this, right? Were we wanting to manifest? Is it real? Yes, it's real. I see this all the time with my clients where they have all of these invisible programs going on, and that's showing up in their life as manifestation, right? So they're not manifesting based on what they want. They're manifesting based on all these other invisible programs that are going on. And let's just walk through some of those to give you a little more idea of what I'm talking about, right? So a lot of people come to Akashic Records work from the standpoint of past lives, and that's absolutely valid, right? There's a part of us that is existing in different places at different times simultaneously. And if you get into quantum physics, this can make a little bit more sense. This idea that time is not this linear, constant reality as we experience it. There's a deeper reality that we can't fathom from here on Earth, but it's out there. And so what I see is at a, let's say at a soul level, right, there are things going on beyond the here and now. And so something that happened in a past life is still active. It's like that program is still installed on your phone. It's still running. And so, some trauma, something happened in that other life, and at an energetic level, it's still going on. So you had a trauma around a breakup, around finances, around family, around all these different things. And in one way or another, they're still showing up. And that's why Akashic Records work, past life work, has value and has impact, because what are the ways we bring the healing to that past life? We not only see it, we want to heal it. And then in a lot of cases, when we, let's say, diffuse that, then it's that program stops being active in our here and now. And so that can be something that's opening up the pathways to manifesting, right? Now, the other part here is ancestral stuff. And I see this all the time, which is the way that these patterns repeat in our families, and they are showing up. And so, for example, something happened to grandma, something happened to grandpa. It was a hard breakup. It was bankruptcy. It was, anything that you can imagine. Patterns of violence. And these are repeating in the family, and they're repeating again because there's healing wanting to come to the family through you. Right? There's something that happened in the past. It's repeating not because life is punishing you, so to speak. It's because those energies are active, and until the healing and the love and the inclusion comes in, that healing doesn't happen, that trauma is still there, and that blockage to manifestation is still happening, right? So again, what we start out talking about here is manifestation real? It is real. We have all these programs affecting how we're experiencing life. The thing here is that it's not the 5-second TikTok version of just believe it and it will happen. Sorry, I do not experience that in my own life, and I don't experience that in my clients' lives. If somebody wants to sell you that and you want to buy it, good for you. I hope it works. But this is what I see every day of people achieving breakthroughs in their lives. And the way they're achieving the breakthroughs is not only through the conscious manifesting, it's also the conscious blockage clearing. Manifestation, it's real. It's not only the conscious, it's also the invisible stuff, the subconscious stuff, the past life stuff, the ancestral stuff, all these different programs. They're running in your life. You can manifest better, not only when you sustain that vision of what you want, but also when you open yourself up to, okay, what needs to be healed? What needs to be cleared? What is life wanting me to see through these challenges that I'm experiencing? And that when we do that, when we bring that love to some past trauma or that healing, we diffuse those programs, we reduce their impact, we reduce their energy, and that's like we're clearing the path forward so that those desires, what we actually want to be experiencing, can actually come into our physical reality. So I hope this gives you a little bit clearer view of how I see manifesting and how this is connected to the Akashic Records work that I do. Please leave me questions in the comments. Please subscribe. Please check out my website, jsalisbury.com, if you'd like to know more about this type of work that I do. Thanks very much.